do it, guys. I'm sure there's still a few more people logging in, but they can play catch up. So an official welcome to today's 4:30 Wednesday abs live streamed class. This is the 28th live stream class that we've done. We're having a heap of fun delivering the classes to you guys in this way. We would much prefer to do it in the traditional way, but for now, this is going to do, and we hope you guys are enjoying it as well. As I said earlier, to those that had already logged in, drink bottle, towel, and are required. Mat is a nice to have. If you have one, great. We'll just make it a little bit more comfier for this class. You don't need a lot of room for this one, but just make sure there's nothing around. Thankfully, no one saw as I was setting up. I actually kicked our backdrop down. Thankfully, that was offline. No one saw that. Today is a kid-friendly class, as all of our live stream classes are. So if you do have some kids there with you, maybe after a long day of homeschooling and you want to get them to burn some energy, definitely get them to join in. That'd be a heap of fun. So today's class is an abdominal/core class. Those of you that joined me last Wednesday, it was an abs and mobility class. So we had a fair component of mobility. We will do a warm-up in today's class, and we will have a cool-down, sure, but it's going to be more core and abs than last week's class. It's a strength class, so we want to focus on correct technique, and we also want to focus on getting the most work possible. So it's not a cardiovascular class. All of our movements can be done slow and controlled, which will allow the muscles to work a little bit more. We'll go through the 4 stretching exercises or warm-up exercises that we're going to do initially. I'll quickly run through them just to give you a heads up of what's coming, and then we'll go into that, and then we'll go through all the core abs. So let's get started, guys. Sorry, my name's Adam, by the way. Did not even introduce myself. That's incredibly rude. Warm up. We're going to do 4 different stretches. First one is an ab stretch. Real easy. You've done it before. Drop down on your mat. Push yourself up like so. Just go through your own range of motion. If you can only go up that high, if you've got a stiff lower back and you can only go up that high, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just go through whatever range of motion you're comfortable with. The next stretch, next warm-up exercise we will do, have your legs at 90 degrees, drop them down to one side, and then drop them to the other. I'm going to kick that backdrop over again. Just some mobility stuff. Third exercise, we're just going to do an extension of that. Stay down and just hold your leg down like so. We'll obviously do the other side as well. And then the last warm-up exercise is hugging your legs. All right, we'll go through them again. 30 seconds on each. This is it. This is our official warm-up. Let's go, guys. Ab stretch, up like so. Hold. You can even turn this stretch into a bit of a dynamic stretch by going down and back up again. Good stretch to stretch the abdominal wall and also flex the lower back a little bit. Down, one more. Very good. Let's swap it over. I'm going to move out a bit. All right, legs at 90 degrees. Drop your legs to the left. Drop your legs to the right. Just get a bit of movement, a bit of rotation in that core area. Really important. Just prepares the muscles for what's about to come. Just keep going. Just try and listen to my voice here. You don't necessarily need to look at the screen for this bit. In fact, it's actually better if you can keep your head neutral, looking straight ahead. So don't necessarily need to look at the screen. I'll let you know when we're done. About 5 more seconds. Very good. All right, staying on the ground, laying on your back, one leg over the other, and just hold it down. Another stretch of all the rotational area of your core. Again, how close you get your knee to the ground here is irrelevant. It's different for everyone. Hold, hold. We might swap. So that knee that was on the ground, that leg's now straight, and you just put your other leg over the straight leg. Try and keep your shoulder blades on the ground as well. Again, if you're a little bit tight, you're going to find your shoulders are going to lift up off the ground. That's not too bad. Just try and keep them on the ground if you can. And the last exercise, laying on your back again. Either one leg at a time or both legs. Just squeeze and pull your knees into your abdominals. Not necessarily an abdominal stretch, more a bit of hamstrings, a bit of glutes and lower back. Glutes and lower back make up your core structure though. So it's important when you're stretching for an abs class. We're not not doing all that, so we've got to stretch your lower back and your glutes as well. Cool, let's do that one more time. So remembering our first one, ab stretch, lifting up as hard as you can. I'm going to go back down again. Back up. Again, and try and keep your head neutral, looking straight ahead. Don't necessarily look at me at this point if you can avoid it. One more time. Up. Hold it. Very good. Going to flip over onto your back. Legs at 90 degrees. So not like that, not like that. Legs about 90 degrees. Try and keep that angle. Hands can do whatever you want. Down to the left and to the right. Just nice and slow. No rush. Just getting a bit of movement happening here. Rotational movement, really important. I spoke a little bit about this last week in our abs and mobility class. Our bodies are designed to rotate, and we don't do it enough in our training. So it's really important to incorporate it where you can. To the right. One more time to the left. I think I went left first, so I'm going to finish on the right. Do it the other way around if you started off on the right. Beautiful. Second last stretch. For me, I'm going right leg over my left leg, trying to keep my shoulder blades on the ground. Hope your training's been going well, everyone. A lot of training at home, whether you've been logging into these live stream classes, having a look on our website. There's a whole lot of other content there that can help you with your at-home training. The live stream classes are fantastic. Let's swap legs, left leg over your right leg. There's a whole lot of pre-recorded content there as well that may be of benefit. So feel free to explore the website. Hopefully there's some extra information there or some additional videos there that might help you out. There's also some online consultation process that we've implemented that I'll talk about at the end of the class. Might really help you out. All right, guys, last little stretch. Good. Last one. Hugging the legs. Nice and tight. If this is a bit stiff for you, you can just do one leg at a time. Good hamstring stretch, but we'll really stretch down the glute and lower back as well. If you're doing one leg at a time, just make sure you swap. All right, well done, guys. Very good. Grab a quick drink. We're going to go into our first circuit. So we've got 2 abdominal circuits that we're going to work through today. Our first abdominal circuit is 3 exercises, 30 seconds each exercise with a 10-second rest. The 10-second rest is really just enough time to rotate to the next exercise. We're going to do, I'll take you through the 3 exercises real quick. We're going to do a long lever plank. So a plank is traditionally done just like so, with your shoulders over your elbows. We're going to lean back a little bit. We're still going to keep our body nice and rigid. You don't want your bum up in the air or anything, but you can see my shoulders are slightly behind my elbows. If you do have shoulder tightness, a bit of weakness in your shoulder or an existing injury, just go back to the normal position. But if you can, we're going to go back a little bit further. We're then going to transition into a lying leg raise. So back nice and straight, laying on your back, legs up and legs down, keeping your legs as straight as possible. I'll go through a couple of regressions and progressions with those when we get up to it. And the last exercise, extended arm plank. So it's just like the plank, but instead of that, it's this, and we're going to go into a T-frame. So it's just going up. Just worry about the one side for the moment. We're not going to swap sides. We'll even it all out in the end. All right, we're going to go. 30 seconds on, 10 seconds rest. Right about now. So long lever plank. So hips about parallel with the ground. We don't want your bum sagging. We don't want your bum up in the air. Body's nice and rigid. Shoulders are slightly behind your elbows. Now, this is only the start of the exercise. We have to contract our core now. Pull your belly button in, tighten your glutes. All that mid-trunk area needs to be nice and tight. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Got about 3 seconds to go, guys. All right, we're going to flip over. 10-second rest or transition time. Quick transition onto your back. Arms by your side. Hang on to your mat. That makes it easier. And away we go. Legs up. Legs down, keep them nice and straight. How low you go and how close you get your feet to the floor will dictate the difficulty. If you're finding this one hard, don't go all the way down. Just go to about there. If you're finding it, you want a bit more of a challenge, go closer to the ground. Try not to touch the ground though. Nice and slow. Remember what I said at the start of the class. We're in no rush. Not a cardio class. Slow, controlled movements. All right. Going to transition again. This time, remembering we've got our extended arm plank. That's our starting position. Bum not up in the air, not sagging, right there. Then we're going to stretch up and back down. Rotate out. So you want to open your chest up and point to the ceiling while stabilizing with this shoulder here. Keep your body rigid and straight while you do it. When we come back to the start position, our movement shouldn't change. We shouldn't come back to the start with our bum up in the air or sagging like that. We should finish off where we started. All right, that's one circuit done. We've got 4 more to go. We're back to the start now. So back to a long lever plank. Get yourself in position. We've got 3 more seconds. Prop up and back, and you hold it there. Suck the belly button in, tighten the glutes. Make sure your hips are parallel with the ground. Nice and tight. Keep your head neutral. We've gone through the circuits once now, so there shouldn't be the need to necessarily look at the screen as much as there was in the first circuit. Just try and listen to my verbal cues. You need to take a quick glance at the screen just as a reminder as to what we're doing, that's fine, but where possible, try and keep your head neutral. All right, we're swapping over. Rotate over onto your back. Arms out by your side if you want a bit more stability, but if not, have your arms right along your side. Legs up and back down. Try and keep them as straight as possible and back down. Might just shuffle back a bit so I'm in screen. The closer you get to the ground, the harder it is. If you only need to do a partial movement, that's fine as well. Do whatever you need to do to keep it within your level, but make sure it's still a challenge. All right, very good. We're going to swap over again. Extended arm plank. And I'm just going to go the same side as I did last time, so I don't have my back to you, but you guys swap sides. So if you had your left arm on the ground and you were raising your right arm up last time, swap it around. I'll balance all this out off camera. You guys can alternate during the class. Nice and slow. Have your feet a bit wider apart if you want. Gives you a bit more stability. But if you want it to be a bit harder, have your feet closer together. Cool, 10 seconds. Really easy transition, this one. So you actually do get a proper rest. But now we're going to jump down. This is our 3rd circuit, long lever plank, dropping back like so. Again, shoulder tightness, shoulder weakness, pre-existing injury. You may need to go back to a traditional plank. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Suck the belly button in, tighten the glutes. Propping yourself up off the ground is just half the exercise. You have to actually activate that core area. We've got 5 more seconds, guys. All right, and we're flipping over onto our back again for our lying leg raises. And we're off. Nice and slow. Everyone will have a different range of motion with this exercise. That's fine. Should start to feel a little bit difficult now. 3rd circuit. This one and 2 more to go. All right. Flop over. Again, change what side you're doing, you're opening yourself up to. I might even swap sides. You guys don't need to do that, obviously. You guys can just swap, you guys can just alternate sides. I just don't want to have my back to you. Let's keep your body nice and rigid. Have your feet a bit wider apart if you need to. All right. 4th circuit. Long lever plank. Drink bottle over. That's it. And we're off. you've got this one down pat by now, so everyone's had 3 chances to practice this, so this should really burn this one. Hips parallel with the ground. Don't want the bum up in the air. Don't want to be sagging like that. And we're pulling your belly button in as deep and as hard as you can. Tighten your glutes. Imagine you're busting to go to the toilet. Tighten all those pelvic floor muscles. Tight, tight, tight. 3 more seconds. Nice. All right, we're going to flip over onto our back. Second and last time we do our lying leg raises. Oop. And we're off. Again, get as close to the floor as possible without touching it. And that'll be different for everyone, and that is fine. You can only do half ones like so, so be it. Do work within whatever range of motion you feel comfortable doing, while making sure you're giving yourself a challenge. Alrighty. I'll go back to doing these ones this side. Obviously, you guys alternate. Prop yourselves up. Tighten the core, and up we go. You guys keep going. Just doing this movement. Don't stop. I'm about to stop next rep to show you something, but you guys keep going. So at this point here, this hand and this hand should make a straight line. This arm shouldn't be out here, you shouldn't be out there, shouldn't all be out of whack. Everything should be nice and straight. Last circuit, guys, then we get a little bit of a rest, then we go and do our second circuit. Long lever plank. Last time today we do a long lever plank. And away we go. Pull the belly button in. When you think you've sucked your belly button in deep enough, you haven't. If you think you're activating your core enough, you're not. If you think you're tightening your glutes enough, you're not. Keep tightening those glutes. If you're doing a plank properly, you shouldn't be able to hold it for more than 30 seconds. If you can hold it for more than 30 seconds, you're not activating that core enough. Or you've got a world-class, elite level of strength in that area. Transition, long leg raise, and up we go. Nice and close to the ground if we can. Try not to touch the ground. We always struggle with this one. This one's always a challenge. It's funny how some exercises are easier than others. The ones that are harder are the ones we should do more often though, because they're obviously addressing areas of weakness. Last time we do our arm extended planks to a T-frame. Prop out, ourselves up, and we go. What we're going to do, halfway, we're going to swap sides with this one to even it all out. So we're doing 5 circuits, so things won't get even out unless at this stage we start doing the opposite. I don't want to turn my back to you, so I'm going to quickly swap. You guys just swap sides. Going to try and even it out. That is it, guys, for circuit number 1. I'll give you guys about a minute's rest. Chance to grab a towel, wipe down a bit of sweat. This room is really hot. Not sure where you guys are training. Hopefully it's a little bit more comfortable than this. I'll reset my interval timer here, and then we're going to go into circuit number 2, which is the same format as circuit number 1. 3 exercises, 30 seconds each, 10-second, we won't even call it a rest time, 10-second transition time between exercises, 5 circuits. 3 new exercises though. I'll go through them now a little bit while you guys are having a rest. Again, plenty of water. Keep drinking your water. Should get through one of these easily throughout the class, if not throughout the class, within half an hour of after the class as well. So our 3 new exercises that we're doing are a plank with a shoulder tap. So we do an extended arm plank, similar to how we started off in the other circuit, like that, but we're not opening up this time. All we're going to do is tap our shoulder. I'm not sure how this is going to go on camera, but just quickly I'll show you forward on. So imagining it's just like that, nice and slow. That's first exercise. Second exercise, similar, starts off similar to our lying leg raises. We're going to prop ourselves up, just do little kicks like that, just like so. And our third exercise is a side plank on our forearm. Main thing to remember with this one, shoulder over your elbow. I know with the long lever plank, we had our shoulders behind our elbow. Do not do that with a side plank. So shoulder over elbow. Don't want that. See that angle? No good. That's really going to cause you some discomfort. So shoulder over your elbow. We're going to prop ourselves up. You can have your feet on top of each other like they are there if you want. Otherwise, you can have one foot out from the other. Gives you a bit of stability. What we're going to do though is a twist. So we're going to have our hips up like so. Hands here. I'm going to twist up and down like that. Open yourself up. Curl yourself in like so. And we'll obviously swap sides each time. I'll just do them this side each time. If I remember, I'll jump to the other end of the mat and even it up. But you guys just make sure you swap. I just don't want to turn my back to you. They're the three exercises that we're doing. If you've already forgotten them, don't stress. We're going to go through them now. First exercise in the circuit, remembering, is the plank with the shoulder tap. Away we go. So into a plank, slowly, right arm to left shoulder, left arm to right shoulder. Nice and slow, no rush, no rush. But are you activating your core? Are you sucking your belly button in? Are you tightening your glutes? Propping yourself up off the ground and doing the shoulder tap motion is just one component of it. We have to get all this working. All right, 10-second transition. We flip over onto our backs. Arms by your side if you want to make it hard. Arms stretched out if you want a bit more stability. Legs up and just a little like flutter kick type motion. Not fast. Remember to breathe. Closer your legs are to the ground, the harder it is. The higher up your feet are, the easier it is. So just find the point which is a challenge for you. Don't forget to breathe. A lot of people hold their breath with this exercise. Not recommended. All right. Last exercise in this circuit. Shoulder over your elbow. Prop yourself up. Feet on top of each other for a challenge. One foot out. A bit more stability. Start like so. Curl in and back. Keep those hips up. You'll be focusing so much on the movement of curling in and opening up and shoulder in line with elbow and feet and everything else that I've mentioned that you'll actually forget and drop your hips. Keep them up. It's a fair bit to remember. All right, back to the start. That's one circuit. We've got 4 more to go. Plank with shoulder tap. So prop yourself up. Probably prop yourself up a little bit early, then 8 into your rest time. Nice and slow, no rush. Try to keep everything in your body nice and rigid. We don't want to be sort of rotating like so. Everything's got to be quite robotic and stiff with this exercise. About 5 seconds to go. Cool. Transition over. My mat's crept very close to this backdrop. I'm afraid to knock it down again. That'll be in the blooper reel. All right, we are up and small little kicks, just like so. Not fast, not in a rush. Close to the ground, bit of a challenge. Put them up nice and high. Not saying this is easy, but it's just a little bit easier. Find that good range for you. Next circuit, we'll implement, I'll show you a way to make them even harder if you want. All right. Last exercise, side. I'm just doing the same side. You guys can obviously alternate sides. Prop yourself up. Approach. And open yourself up. Keep your hips up. Again, another rotational movement. Keep going on about the importance of rotational movement. Need to implement rotational movements into your training. It's not done enough. Incredibly important. All right, second circuit over. Is that second circuit? Third, second. Shoulder taps. And sweaty hands. All right, up. Nice and slow. Again, try and keep your hips still. We don't want to be rotating at your hips. Very good. Tighten your core, tighten your glutes. If you think you're tight, you contracted them enough, you probably haven't. Don't hold your breath. I'm going to swap over again. Yeah, don't hold your breath. It's often, people think bracing involves holding your breath. It doesn't. And up we go. I promised to show you a way to make these harder. At the moment, I've got my hands by my side. Have your hands up. It only makes it probably 5% harder, but still harder. And then if you move your legs closer to the ground again, much more difficult. I didn't do as much talking through that exercise, hence its difficulty. I'm going to remember to swap sides now. Prop yourself up, like so. Oh, that's better. Feels good to even it up. Again, we're not in a rush. Slow, controlled movements. Hips up. Nice and slow. Curl into a ball. Open yourself up. Very good. Oh, I ate into our transition time. Apologies. That means we're going to go straight into arm planks. Sorry. I do have a little audio timer here that makes a little dinging noise when it's time to change. I must have been too busy talking and missed it. At least we ate into our rest time and not our work time. We wouldn't want that. Four more seconds. Right, I heard at that time. We're going to swap over. Back nice and straight. And away we go. Again, arms out if you want to challenge. Arms by your side if you need a little bit more stability. Closer your legs out of the ground, the harder it is. Keep your legs, try and keep your legs nice and straight. We don't want it to sort of transition into something like this. That's a completely different exercise. No rush. Slow, controlled movements. Not going fast. Alrighty. I'm going to go back to this side. You guys just swap sides, whatever side you're up to. And we're going to prop ourselves up. And hands on your head. And down like so. Good stuff, guys. Doing well. Good way to finish a work day. Those of you working at home, obviously some funny hours. You might still be doing some stuff later tonight. Weird times we're living in. All right, I heard the ding that time. We're up to our last circuit. All right, let's make it count. Body nice and straight. Tighten the glutes, tighten the core. Slow, controlled. Shoulder taps. If up until this point you've had your feet, wider apart, then let's move them close together for this last circuit. Let's really challenge ourselves in this last circuit. Tighten the glutes. Tighten the core. Nice and slow. 2 more seconds. All right, last time we do the little flutter kicks. All right, arms up. If you haven't tried it with your arms up, give it a shot. All right, little kicks, little kicks, little kicks. Keep them close to the ground if you can. Nice and slow. Looking straight ahead. Good work, guys. Keep it up, keep it up. Really feel it there now. All right, last exercise. Shoulder over your elbow. Feet on top of your feet. If you haven't tried it, if you've done it with feet apart, try it with feet together, this one. Lift your hips up nice and high, good, and do it. Nice and slow, guys, no rush. Open yourself up, squeeze into a little ball. Keep your hips up, don't let them drop. Five more seconds. All right, how are we on for time? Oh, we're over time. Oh, who cares? Let's keep going. All right, we've got a cool down to do, guys. That's it for the bulk of the core work. We had 2 core circuits there. Some really good exercises, some stabilization exercises, some rotational exercises, a little bit of everything there. We've got our cool down now. Our cool down is basically repeating our warm up. I know there's a tendency at this stage for a lot of people to log out. Obviously, everyone's really busy at the moment. By all means, if you've got other things to do, thank you for joining us, and please join us again soon. But if you can hang around and complete a cool down, it's a really important part of your training. So let's give it a shot. I will just change what I'm doing here. All right, remembering ab stretch, thinking all the way back to our warm up, things like ages ago. Those 2 core circuits, and yeah, it was only probably technically about 21 minutes work, I think, once you add it all up. But yeah, it often feels like a little bit longer than that. We can go down, push up again. All right, flipping over. You might remember next, we kept our legs at 90 degrees. Left, right, left, right. Well, that feels good after doing that core work. I'm way too close to that back drop. Those of you that have remained for the cool down, thank you very much. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it at times, doing a workout and then realizing I've got other stuff to do and sort of skipping the cool down component. Happens every time. I can guarantee you there would have been a handful of people that would have logged off by now. So be it, that's cool. But those that are hanging around for the cool down, remember the 3rd cool down exercise, one leg over the other, nice good stretch, shoulder blades on the ground. Those of you that have hung around for the cool down, yeah, it's definitely beneficial. Really important to adequately recover after each workout, especially if it involves some mobility and stretching like we're doing now. The core stuff's great. It's really important. Strong core is very important. Let's swap legs. Can't forget the warm up and cool down though. A little bit more. Hugging the legs. All right. Well done, guys. That's it. Fantastic effort. Thank you so much for joining me. Great warm up, great core work. Hopefully you learnt a few exercises there that maybe you haven't done before or you don't do very often. Feel free to incorporate them into your at-home training, but I guess remembering technique. Slow, controlled movements. Make sure the core gets activated correctly. Make sure you activate your glutes correctly. Technique over everything. If you're going to join us tomorrow, please do so. We have a fantastic class. It's called a Let's Get Physical class with Caroline. It's at 12 o'clock. Really good cardio class. So if you're free tomorrow, please log in and join us for that. Otherwise, we will see you again soon. Log on to our Active Body section of our website. There's a whole heap of stuff there. I did mention during class about online consultations. You do have the ability to book a 15-minute consultation with one of our fitness instructors. It's obviously done via Zoom. The purpose of those consultations is basically to ask any health and fitness and training related question you might have. If you need some help with your at-home training, you can connect with our instructors and we can help you with that. No different to if Monash Sport was open and you were in the gym and you were just talking to one of our instructors, or you had a question from one of our group fitness instructors, you would normally ask them face to face. We're now trying to create that portal via Zoom. So it's called online consultations. You'll find a link on the active bodies section of the website. Have a great afternoon, guys. Great evening. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you tomorrow for Caroline's 12 p.m. class. Thanks, guys.